Today on Forbes, the world's most valuable women's sports teams of 2025. After 3 decades of existence, the WNBA finds itself at a critical juncture as owners and the players' union negotiate a new collective bargaining agreement. As the league heads into its 30th season with unparalleled financial potential, team owners are focused on cost containment, despite record breaking attendance and TV viewership, which has led players to demand a greater percentage of the increasing revenue. If the two sides can come to an agreement and preserve the momentum, they will have a long line of investors hoping to pour money into the league. Despite a potential work stoppage, the WNBA dominates women's sports valuation. The top 5 teams on Forbes' inaugural list of the world's most valuable women's teams are WNBA franchises, led by the $400 million New York Liberty, and all 12 WNBA teams rank in the top 25 globally. The rest of the 2025 list features 8 National Women's Soccer League franchises, as well as 5 European soccer clubs. All 25 ranked franchises are worth 9 figures, with an average of $224 million according to Forbes estimates. The 25 most valuable women's sports teams are now worth a combined $5.6 billion, a significant jump from when franchises were undervalued or included free with men's teams. The Washington Spirit rose from under $5 million before Michelle Kang's purchase in 2022 to an estimated $130 million today. Even more dramatically, the Las Vegas Aces went from a $2 million price tag in 2021 to a $310 million valuation today. The NWSL has gained blue-chip sponsors like AT&T and Google, and the league secured a 4-year, $240 million national broadcast deal in 2023, which will expand next season with new agreements with ESPN, CBS Sports, and Victory Plus. The WNBA is one step ahead with its media rights, signing agreements in 2024 that will reportedly pay out $2.2 billion over 11 years, and several teams are approaching profitability. And while Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark missed much of this season with injuries, the whole league has benefited from the so-called Caitlin Clark effect, including Clark herself, now one of the world's highest paid female athletes. The upward trajectory has lured financial heavy hitters into ownership groups, including billionaires and major investment firms. Expansion fees continue to skyrocket to $165 million for an NWSL franchise in Atlanta and $250 million for Cleveland, Detroit, and Philadelphia in the WNBA. At the same time, investors are beginning to look across the Atlantic. Most notably, Chelsea sold a 10% stake to Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian at a valuation of roughly $250 million. The deal aroused skepticism, particularly because the price was at 17.4 times the team's publicly reported revenue. One insider tells Forbes that Chelsea's revenue was actually closer to $25 million, which would drop the multiple to a much more reasonable 10x. European women's teams face financial difficulties and often operate under men's clubs with minimal investment in facilities or operations. Investors are hindered by stagnant media rights, poor stadiums, ownership restrictions, promotion or relegation risks, and a less commercialized sports culture. Despite challenges, the US remains home to the world's best women's soccer talent. This could change as American stars move overseas, like Spirit forward Trinity Rodman, who's being pursued by European clubs without salary caps. A shift in talent would be a major win for a continent that is crazy about soccer. Europe's top women's clubs, such as Manchester City, PSG, and Bayern Munich, benefit significantly from their men's team's established brand value. Despite lower revenue listed by Deloitte, some insiders estimate these women's teams could be valued around $100 million. NWSL and WNBA team prices don't strictly reflect current economics. With more US billionaires viewing sports franchises as a true asset class, bids are driven by scarcity and belief in future growth. Shattering ceilings and attendance records, these teams are redefining what a franchise is worth. Here are the top 3 most valuable teams in women's sports. At the top of the list is the New York Liberty, valued at $400 million. The WNBA team is owned by Joe Tsai and Clara Wu Tsai and generates a revenue of $25 million. The second most valuable women's sports team is the Indiana Fever, with a valuation of $370 million. The WNBA team is owned by Herb Simon and generates $32 million in revenue. Next, at number 3, are the Seattle Storm, valued at $330 million. The WNBA team is owned by Lisa Brumel, Ginny Gilder, and Dawn Trudeau, and it generates an annual revenue of $21 million. For full coverage and to see the whole list, check out Brett Knight's piece on Forbes.com. This is John Palmer from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.